Now, the South African government has warned young women not to fall for social media recruitment drives promoting job opportunities abroad. It comes as a number of online videos by South African social media influencers advertising jobs for young women in Russia have gone viral. In videos shared to millions of followers, several South African influencers encouraged women between the ages of 18 to 22 to join a program called Alabuga Start with vague promises of international careers, flights, housing and Russian language classes in a region in central Russia. Jan Vermeulen, who's the editor-in-chief of tech newsletter MyBroadband, joins us live now. A very good evening to you, Jan. Thank you so much for your time. I mean, these fake job offers targeting young South African women, what do we know about how these scams are spreading online and who's behind them?
Good evening. Yeah, there's very little known about who's actually behind these scams, and there's all kinds of recruitment scams online from various countries. There's a lot from Southeast Asia that target South Africans. This one happens to involve human trafficking, and so is treated far more seriously than the digital scams that we see in South Africa that robs people of their money. And it obviously because it's a far more serious crime, but unfortunately it's all we know is what's been reported from some let's call it research outlets who say that the young women who are lured overseas like this are lucky to find themselves working in a drone factory that regularly gets bombed by Ukraine, because it's obviously a factory that's making weapons of war, and so it gets targeted by the Ukraine military. That's if you're lucky. If you're unlucky, you end up in being sex trafficked. And that's quite ghastly to contemplate.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as we learn of some of these scams involving trafficking, exploitation, I mean, sex trafficking, as you say, how real is that threat? And is it being taken seriously enough if we look at the bigger impact?
It seems that now that it's caught the public attention, it is being treated seriously. We've had the minister in the presidency speak out about it. And while initially dodging around naming Russia explicitly, later in interviews said, that they have actually helped a young woman get out of Russia after she contacted the embassy when the job opportunity was not what she was promised. He didn't say more than that. So we don't know exactly what was promised and how the opportunity didn't live up to that promise. But what we do know is that our Department of Foreign Affairs does not evacuate nationals out of a country lightly. Something badly must have gone wrong for that to happen. So it does seem like it's being taken seriously, that it's being treated with some sort of gravity. And hopefully that means at the highest possible levels we're supposed to be allies with Russia. We get in deep trouble for being as close to Russia as we are as a country. And so hopefully there can be productive conversations between our various ambassadors and ministers to sort this out.
From a tech journalism perspective, how concerned should we be about the use of social media platforms to push some of these very dangerous and potentially exploitative schemes?
Yeah, the thing about social media is that it allows these kinds of scammers, criminals, traffickers to target people at a scale that is unprecedented. And what makes this one particularly unique is that it would appear as though the perpetrator used a South African influencer to lure people in. And that's quite brazen, firstly. And secondly, would be incredibly effective if you take that influencer's reputation into account. And so, it's one thing if a scam is, being promoted on social media and you can see the red flags for what they are and avoid it. But when an influencer is promoting a scam like this and somebody that you might trust that's an entirely different matter.
Yeah.
And it might, get people to overlook some of the red flags. And especially in a country like South Africa, where our youth unemployment is as high as it is, where people are desperate for work, are desperate for opportunities, and land themselves in trouble because they were lured in by a very convincing advertisement on social media.
So with that, just pardon the interruption, just for the sake of time,
yes.
You speak about a very luring advertisement on social media with a certain, influential person. What should people be looking out for? What kind of questions should one be asking with that influencer talking about this incredible opportunity? Surely one should still be able to ask some critical questions which come up as red flags.
Yeah, and so as desperate as people are, you need to make sure that you've got contracts in place on this side. If something looks too good to be true, it usually is. And so I would definitely advise, if something is too good to be true, to rather avoid it. And then from there, if something looks reasonable, to make sure that you actually get advice about how to handle international job opportunities. This is something that's a little bit outside my area of expertise.
Yeah.
And so I would advise people to actually seek professional advice about how to handle job opportunities in a specific country. For like general things would be to make sure that you speak to people face to face over a video link like this as a start. Be careful of deep fakes, but have a contract in place before you get on an airplane. There's general things like that need to be in place, but then there might be very specific things for the country that you're going to that you need to make sure you have before you board that flight.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much for speaking to us this evening, Jan Vermeulen, who is editor-in-chief of tech newsletter MyBroadband, speaking there about a very frightening revelation around these Russian job offers, which are ones of huge danger if you take a look at what we've seen on social media.